Awareness and Action Group, Youth for Good Governance Organization, will be your host for the day. Good evening, all, and warm welcome once again. I extend my heartiest welcome to our esteemed guests, Swamiji, Sumita ma'am, and Ravichandar sir, and wonderful audience for joining in today. Albeit virtually, we have gathered here for a united cause, that is the celebration. In these righteous times, now more than ever, we know how important it is for us to come together safely in a shared celebration of values. We begin with Youth Congregation YUVA BESUGE event virtually. Let's begin. I now request Mrs. Tapti Banerjee to render the oath of thanks and take us to the Almighty and receive His blessings to engage this event in a successful manner.
She has to be made co-host. Tapashi Banerjee has to be made.
Thank you. सबको मेरा प्रणाम. संगच्छाद्यं संवदाद्यं संगो मनांसि जानतम् संगच्छाद्यं संवदाद्यं संगो मनांसि जानतम् समानो मन्त्रः समीति समानी समानो मन्त्रः समीति समानी समानं मन सहचित्त मेषम् संगच्छाद्यं संवदाद्यं संगो मनांसि जानतम् आनन्दलोके मङ्गला लोके विराजो श्रुत सुन्दर आनन्दलोके मङ्गला लोके विराजो श्रुत सुन्दर महिमा तव उद्भासित महागगन माঝে বিশ্ব জগৎ মুনিভূষণ বেষ্টিত চরণে আনন্দ লোকে মঙ্গলা লোকে বিরাজো সত্য সুন্দর জগতে তব কি মহোৎসব বন্দন করে বিশ্ব জগতে তব কি মহোৎসব বন্দন করে বিশ্ব শ্রী সম্পদ ভূমাস্পদ নির্ভয় সদনে আনন্দ লোকে মঙ্গলা লোকে বিরাজ সত্য সুন্দর।
Light symbolizes brightness and prosperity. It removes the force of darkness and gives us positivity. In spiritual world, light means life. With this noble thought, let us begin with lighting of the lamp.
Gagna, is some technical fault. I am taking over for PPT.
Now, we have recitation by students of Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence and Swami Vivekananda.
Parvita, Parvita can come online.
Yes, Maharaj. Maharaj, I think they're unable to unmute the others.
They can unmute them.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. Pranams to the Holy Trio. Namaste, Swamiji. Namaste to all the esteemed judges, the esteemed speakers, and all our participants.
India, the country which was the queen of his adoration, is now an independent country. And like the world, India today faces problems unknown in his time. Can it still be said that Swami Vivekananda is relevant today?
Swami Vivekananda's relevance depends on the nature of the problems, not only on the nature of the problems we face, but on the spirit with which these problems have been tackled. Let us hear what Swamiji has to say for India, the India eternal.
But before that, let us look back into our past, because Swamiji says, out of the past should be the future be molded.
The more, therefore, the Hindus study the past, the more glorious will be their future. And whoever tries to bring the past to the door of everyone is a great benefactor to his nation.
Our ancestors were great. We must first recall that. We must learn the elements of a being, the blood that courses in the veins. We must build India yet greater than what she has been.
Out of the past is built the future. Look back, therefore, as far as you can. Drink deep of the eternal fountains that are behind. And after that, look forward, march forward, and make India brighter, greater, and much higher than she ever was.
How many of us today here know and acknowledge that India has given to antiquity the earliest scientific physicians? She has even contributed to modern medical sciences by the discovery of various chemicals, and the triumph of modern science mixed mathematics all were invented in India.
In literature, our epics, poems, and dramas rank as high as those of any other language. India was the first to make cotton, purple, and sugar, and more. So great, in fact, was at the superiority of India in every respect.
Referring to India's contribution to the world, Swamiji says, the debt the world owes to India is immense. As I look back upon the history of our country, I do not find in the whole world another country which has done so much for the development of the human mind.
He says, if there is any land on this earth that can lay claim to be the blessed Punya Bhumi, the land where humanity has attained its highest, the land of introspection and spirituality, it is India.
But at the same time, he questions us, shall India die? Then from the world, all spirituality will be extinct. all moral perfection, all ideality will be extinct, and in its place will reign the duality of lust and luxury as the male and female deities, with money as its priest, fraud, force, and competition in its ceremonies, and the human soul its sacrifice, and such a thing can never be.
Let new India arise. Let her arise out of the peasant's cottage, grasping the plough, out of the huts of the fisherman, the cobbler, and sweeper. Let her spring from the grocer's shop, from beside the oven of the fritter's cellar.
Indeed, a country's future depends upon its people, how good, how intelligent and capable they are.
To the pioneers of nature building, he says, train up a band of fiery young men, put your fire in them, and gradually in organization.
My faith is in the younger generations, the modern generations. Out of them will come my workers. They will work out the whole problems like lions.
He says, feel therefore, my would-be patriots. Do you feel that the millions are starving? Do you feel that the ignorance has come over the land as a dark cloud? Does it make you restless? Does it make you sleepless? Has it made you almost mad? That is the first step to become a patriot, the very first step.
But one vision I see clear as life before me, that the ancient mother has awakened once more, sitting on her throne, rejuvenated, more glorious than ever.
I believe India will awake again if anyone could love with all his heart the people of the country. Then only will India awake when hundreds of large-hearted men and women giving up all desires of luxury will long and exert themselves to their utmost for the well-being of the millions of their countrymen.
India will be raised, not with the power of the flesh, but with the power of the spirit, not with the flag of destruction, but with the flag of peace and love.
Let us all work hard, my brethren. On our work depends the coming of the India of the future. She is there ready waiting. She is only sleeping. Awake and arise and proclaim her to the entire world with the voice of peace and benediction.
Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapyavaran, Nibodhata.
Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Vivekananda.
This was truly remarkable. Thank you so much, children. We make a living by what we get, but what we make a life by what we give. Youth for Good Governance Foundation aims to provide a platform to young policymakers and development practitioners with information about good governance practices, create citizen engagement platform for citizens, especially students and youth, to actively engage with the local governance to enhance the spirit of practitionary governance. I now invite Saurav Mukherjee, Founding Director, Youth for Good Governance Foundation, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Gagana. A very good evening to Pujaniya Swamiji, our mentor and guide. Honorable Chief Guest, Sri Suresh Prabhuji, India's.
Saurabh, you can unmute once. I've just.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj. So, very good evening to Pujaniya Swamiji, Director of VIHE, our mentor and guide, Honorable Chief Guest, Sri Suresh Prabhuji, India's Sarpa to G7 and G20, and the former Minister of Civil Aviation, Railways, and Commerce and Industry, Professor Sumita Roy, Advocate L. Ravichander, Sri Vivek Modi, Rotarian Umesh Putanar, and the Rotarian Anurag Patwari, District Rotaract Representative, and Syed Aija, my friends from Rotaract Club of Kurumangala, last but not the least, a very good evening to the lovely audience and participants present in the August gathering. Today, it is a matter of great pride to have you all present in this evening. Today, all of us here are to celebrate the 159th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda and to commemorate the 72nd Republic Day, the day when the Constitution of India came into force on 1950, and Amar Bharat Ka Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav. Today is a day to reaffirm our commitment to unity in diversity, fraternity, and equality among our citizens. This day reminds us of our freedom struggles and how the great freedom fighters of our country sacrificed their life to get us the Purna Swaraj. It's because of their struggle that today we are in a democracy, in a democratic country like India, where each citizen has the right of equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. This is also the day to deeply retrospect the thoughts and vision the great saint and the proud son of Bharat, Swami Vivekananda, had for future India. Quoting from his wisdom, India must conquer the world and nothing less than that my idea. This event is also going to be the culmination event of the YUVA BESUGE in Adoration to my eternal India and formal launch of National Youth Conclave, Youth Impact Crucible 2022. The theme being channelizing youth power through the idea of service. I would like to wind my speech with a prayer that may the well-being of all people be protected by the powerful and mighty leaders, be with the law and justice, may the success be with all divinity and scholars, that the entire world be happy. Loka samasta sukhina bhavatu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saurabh. I would take this opportunity to introduce to our presidential address, Swami Bodhmayananda ji. Swamiji is the director of Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, Hyderabad, and the coordinator of Personality Development Project of Sri Ramakrishna Mutt, Chennai. He encourages students to develop self-confidence and build a strong character by reading the books of Swami Vivekananda. He is a true inspiration. He has organized youth conventions and meditation classes. His contribution towards building and shaping the youth of the nation is invaluable. It's our great honor to have him with us today. I would request him to enlighten us with his words of wisdom, how manifesting Swami Vivekananda into the youth. Over to you, Swamiji.
Yeah. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Namaskars to Suresh Prabhuji, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha. Namaskars to Ravi Chandraji, Dr. Sumita Roy, and all other speakers today. And of course, the Protract branch of Kormangala in Bangalore, and the other participants of this very interesting, very unique, very special YUVA BESUGE on the theme of My India, the Eternal India, Amar Bharat. So on the occasion of the Republic Day and also Amar Bharat Ka Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and there are two more functions, two more very important celebrations, which is in progress at present and one which will be coming in the month of May. 125th year of Swami Vivekananda's lectures in India, exclusively, especially for Indian youth. This is very important. January 15th, Swamiji landed in Colombo after his triumphant tour of Europe for 4 years. And then it started, the dynamism started, the power generator started from Colombo in Sri Lanka to Almora in the Himalayas. 3 months, he went like a tsunami, elevating, inspiring the youth for the future of India. On the 25th, today we are on 26th, on the 25th evening, he spoke at Ramnad in the southernmost tip of Tamil Nadu. What did he say there? The longest night seems to be passing away. The sorest trouble seems to be coming to an end at last. The seeming corpse appears to be awaking, and a voice is coming to us, away back where history, even tradition, fails to peep into the gloom of the past, coming down from there, reflected as it were from peak to peak of the infinite Himalaya of knowledge, of love, of work, India, this motherland of ours. Like a breeze from the Himalayas, it is bringing life into the almost dead bones and muscles. The lethargy is passing away, and only the blind cannot see, or the perverted will not see, that she is awakening. This motherland of ours, from her deep, long sleep, none can resist her anymore. Never is she going to sleep anymore. No outward powers can hold her back anymore, for the infinite giant is rising to her feet. Such a flow of feeling, flow of ideas, flow of passion for the motherland. A monk, a sannyasi, for all practical purposes, speaking about the awakening of India. Then he says, great works are to be done. Wonderful powers have to be worked out. We have to teach other nations many things. This is the motherland of philosophy, spirituality, ethics, sweetness, gentleness, and love. These still exist, and my experience of the world leads me to stand on firm ground and make the bold statement that India is still the first and the foremost of all the nations of the world in this respect. And that goes on in different ways, and awakening at Ramna, 25th. Then 26th, incidentally, it becomes the Republic Day of India. And Swamiji's vision, the far sight and the foresight of this man, telling that Mother India shall be free in the next 50 years, talking to Balagangadhar Tilak in Belur Math, but we have to pay a heavy price. That freedom shall come under some unforeseen circumstances. Kaha hai manush? That was Swami Vivekananda's main question. Jo man mein hush hai, wo manush hai. Nahi to ye sab ek zombie jaisa hota hai. So we have to bring in that spirit, bring in that Atmabalam. We have got Bahubalam, physical strength, wonderful people. We have seen in the Olympics, we have seen in different sports, unknown people coming up to heights of excellence in sport, Bahubalam, muscles of iron, nerves of steel. Then we have research scholars, young entrepreneurs, young doctors, young engineers, scientists in the villages of India. There is the Buddhi Balam. But somewhere down the line, we are going in the wrong direction, as it were. Speed is there, but the direction was missing. So in the last 2 years, COVID, Corona pandemic all over the world, at least we have to learn a lesson differently. Lesson in the way of Swamiji, lesson in the way of the great leaders of the past and who are working in the present. Hundreds more, Swamiji says, will sacrifice their life for my country, my India. So Swamiji's vision, how is it possible? The first thing for the youth, whoever you are, irrespective of your background, irrespective of your culture, character, your work efficiency, your religion, keep that all aside. That is all the social side of life. But basically, you are a child of divinity, Amrutasya Putraha. This was the first time the message of the Upanishads, the message of the Bhagavad Gita was taken by this monk towards the West. What happened to the character called Arjuna? What happened to him? He had the Pashupatastra. He had the Divyastra. He had Hanuman sitting, blessing him sitting on his chariot. Krishna made him do the Durga Puja, awaken for the protection of the Divine Mother. But when he saw something, when he saw his relatives, when he saw Bhishma, when we saw Karna, when we saw Ashwathama and all others who were close with him, his direction was missing. Energy was there. But he said, I am not going to fight. I am shivering. I am in dilemma. I am confused. And why this war? Why this terrible situation? Visrajya sasharam chapam shoka samvidhamanasaha. Discarding the weapons, discarding his bow and arrow, Gandiva. He just collapsed. He just sat down with a hand on his head. Today, unfortunately, the youth are in that same position, hand on their head, depression, oppression, suppression, A little thing, blasting out, committing suicide, addictions, direction is missing. When the Brahmaputra is not channelized, what will happen? Destruction. Year after year, we have that calamities in Assam, calamities in Kolkata, calamities in Orissa. The channelization of the youth power. This is what Swamiji said, manifest the divinity within you and everything will be harmoniously arranged around it. This was his pet and favorite and timely medication which he has given. We have vaccines for corona to face it, to get immune, to get booster dose. But here is Swamiji giving us a booster dose for service of the country 125 years ago. Divinity of man. Let it be auto driver. Let it be a member of the parliament. Let it be a teacher. Let it be a principal. Divinity of man. As just now, a beautiful song, Stotram, was sung from the Upanishads. Sangachadvam, Sambadadvam, Sammo Manamsi Janatam. What is that samatvam? What is that oneness? That divinity in man. If I am divine, you are also divine. If you are divine, the next person behind you is divine. So let this divinity march on in the villages of India, in these colleges of India, through the NEP, through the programs like this, through the support of the member of the parliaments and those who are interested in making a difference for this great nation. Already things have become bright. On the one side, we are moving from darkness to light, thanks to some of the policies of the government. And here is the Youth for Good Governance, who are in touch with me since the last 1 year, organized this program on 26th of this one, without any bias, without any favor, just for the good of the youth, to bring them together. So this divinity is what we have forgotten. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhu, atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Krishna says in the meditation chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, you are your own friend, you are your own enemy. So we have become our own enemies. We are finding the truth in the wrong place, in the wrong time. It's a beautiful, interesting story, which I keep telling our students in Hyderabad. It was told by Sri Ramakrishna, a parable of how our mind cheats us. He says, there was this poor man, a villager. He got up in the middle of the night, so it was about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And he had a habit of whenever he gets up, either coffee or smoke a cigarette. Then he wanted to light up a cigarette for himself and relax. Then he found there was no matchbox. All the sticks were empty or broken. So desperation to have a puff of smoke, a puff of cigarette. So he thinks, let me go to my neighbor's house, borrow a matchbox, so that morning I can give him when the shop's open. And in the villages, you know, there will be a lantern outside the house, right? For people to go for washing room and go into the toilets. So this has tiny lamp, tiny flame in that kerosene lantern. He increased the flame of the lantern, and with that help of the light and lantern, he goes to the neighbor's house. At 1 o'clock in the night, only to get a slap from that neighbor, said, you fool, you have a light in your hand, you have flame, you are using that kerosene lamp, but you have come to my house for a matchbox? Oh, sorry, sir. Thank you, sir. He realized that he has light in his hand. How many young people are in that dilemma? They have the power, they have the Shakti. This is what Swami Vivekananda's greatest contribution was. Dr. Radhakrishnan, himself a brilliant man, a orator, a writer, a thinker, and one of the presidents of India, he said the difference between Swami Vivekananda and other leaders is Vivekananda lives in the soul of India. We exist on the soil of India. What a tribute by that mastermind called Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. So are you living or are you existing? Swamiji wanted the Jagrita Bharata, Jagrita Yuvaka. Let it be in Bangalore, let it be in Mysore, let it be in Delhi, let it be in Hyderabad, let it be in Kadapa in Andhra Pradesh. No problem. You have a lot of opportunity, a lot of scope today. So we have to have that Atma Balam. That will be like a shock absorber. That will be the real tribute. Don't worry about your profession. Don't worry about your career. Everything will fall in place. The whole world will do namaskaram to you. There is this Babar Ali in Murshidabad district in West Bengal, called the world's youngest headmaster. Very simple boy, just a Hawaii chapel and this one. But what an amount of spread that he has got. His biography is studied in Luxembourg. It's studied in Karnataka textbooks. It is studied in United States. And he is in and out full of Swamiji, how he is a young man of 30 years. And we have Sharad Vivek Sagar. We have Vinayak Lohani. We have Amitabh Shah in Gujarat. We have Hiranmay Mahanto in Ahmedabad. There's so many wonderful people who have channelized that. And Swamiji said in his lecture in Kumbakonam, that was part of the Colombo to Almora lectures, 7,000 people listening to him. And this man roars like a lion and says, teach yourself, teach everyone his or her real nature. That is the first duty a teacher has to do in the classroom. Teach yourself, teach everyone. You become and you make others also. Be and make. Let this be our motto. Religion is being and becoming, not Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist. What you will become? You want better, you want butter, but you have to take them, purchase a milk, 1 liter of milk. Then you have to transform it into curd. It will take some time, 5-6 hours. And the proof is there, scientific proof is there that you have to churn the vessel, churn the cup of curd, and then you get butter. And that butter is put in the water. Earlier it was all mixed up, but now the process has commenced. Process took the butter out from the milk. Butter has got its own unique identity. So Swamiji says, teach yourself, teach everyone his real nature. Call upon the sleeping soul and see how it awakes. This should be a mantra. Every day, the young man, boy or a girl, east or west, north or south, awaken the divinity, awaken the soul, wake up, wake up. That's why he said, Uttishtata Jagrata, Uttishtata Jagrata. It's not just waking up from your sleep, it is waking up inside out, into the Atman. You feel that power inside. Then you will get something. The youth want something. Question of utility. What do you get? Power will come, glory will come, goodness will come, purity will come, and everything that is excellent will come. See, 5 things Swamiji says, you will get it. Power, glory, goodness, purity, excellence. What more we want in life? The whole world will be at your feet, not out of arrogance, not out of bull power, but with the power of the spirit, power of the Atma Balam. And when you do that, he says, when the sleeping soul is roused to self-conscious activity. So that Paripurna Gnanam, as a scientist, as a social worker, as a teacher, as a mother, as a father, as a monk, as a driver, manifest it. Bahirgatam karna padega. Bahirgatam, external nature, internal nature. So this is all question of regularity, question of sincerity, and question of perseverance. So Swamiji's message of channelizing the youth power and Swamiji's message of becoming a real youth of the country, so that future, next 25 years, if you have a target of the 100th year of our Azadi, India will shine. All that darkness, all that politics, all that hatred slowly will disappear, and each one of you will become a blazing fire of strength, of purity, and of excellence. So Swamiji said, purity, truth, and perseverance. These 3 are hallmarks of any great man. Please read Swamiji's teachings, meditate, become healthy. No more of these infections. We have had enough. Let us be strong and bright in 2022 and make a difference in our personal life and also in the national life. My thanks to the organizers of Youth for Good Governance, Saurav Mukherjee and team, and also my namaskar to Suresh Prabhuji and other panelists speaking today. Thank you. Namaste. May Swamiji bless all of us. May Mother India bless all of us.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for enlightening the youth and triggering a potential to do great things with spreading utmost divinity. You're the true pillar of YUVA BESUGE to take its true form and essence. I find immense pleasure now in introducing our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Suresh Prabhuji, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, an inspiration to many indeed. Mr. Prabhu, in India's Sherpa to the G7 and G20 and former Minister of Civil Aviation, Railways, Commerce and Industry, currently a member of Rajya Sabha from Andhra Pradesh. He has been a member of Lok Sabha in the 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th Lok Sabha between 1996 to 2009. As industries ministers brought about greater transparency in functioning and fuel clearance of pending works. As Minister of Power, he ushered in transformational policies in power sector with thrust on rural clarification and electrification. And he did a lot of T&D reforms, encouraged big ticket investments and batted for sustainable power development. We are truly blessed to have you, sir. We are really thankful to you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend the function. I would request you to address the gathering now.
Namaskar, revered Swamiji, Saurabh Mukherjee, Gagana, and all my young friends who have come for this very important event. Swamiji, you guided us so well that I think now we need to pursue the path as directed, as shown by Swami Vivekananda, but as very well enumerated by Swamiji just now. This event is organized primarily for the youth. And very interestingly, Saurav and his team has asked me to speak on something very interesting. Youth stands between two important time zones. He is the present, but he also links the past. But he has the ability to shape the future. So he is a very important element of the timeless life that we all live on this planet. One human being will die, one species will disappear, but life on the planet continues. Of course, I'm sure time will come when the life also will get extinguished to create a new life. There could be a catastrophe, and I think we want to bring that catastrophe soon by introducing all our intelligent abilities to bring climate change to the fusion. That's one unfortunate thing that human beings are trying to do. But a life being infinite, every generation has a chance of learning from the past, avoiding the pitfalls of the previous generation, and try to shape the future as is warranted by that point of time. Swamiji was born 160 years ago, but his thoughts are as fresh as they were about 160 years ago. His ideas, his life, his mission is an inspiration for all of us. And that's something which is called the timeless thought. The thoughts will always remain relevant to any point of time because they were universal ideas, universal thoughts. And therefore, Swamiji will inspire all of us and particularly the youth of the country. Not just country, youth of the world. Very interestingly, Swamiji always guided us that you must ensure that you use your own life span for betterment of others' lives. Sometimes we see a contradiction. There is none, but we can get confused like we are not as accomplished as Swamiji. If I have to give my entire life for the other, what is that I am supposed to do? Only work for the others? Work for the betterment? Yes, that could be a mission. But am I equipped to help others if I am not myself qualified to help the other person? How do I get qualified to help the other person? I think I must realize my own self to do that. If I don't realize myself, I don't realize my true potential, I'll not be able to help others. I may be able to help him, but not to the extent to which I would have been able to help him if I realize my true potential. How do I realize my true potential then to begin with? And that could happen through the process of sadhana. And that is what will help us. If I am a realized soul myself, I'll be able to help others in a very significant way. Swamiji did number of hours of tapasya. He preached But more than that, he introspected. He worked on self-realization so that his own life becomes an inspiration for others. So one of the things I think the youth of India today must learn from Swamiji is also to spend some time on our own self. In fact, this Swamiji's famous saying that if you don't talk to yourself, then you have missed out an opportunity to know the most intelligent person on the planet. So introspection is something very important. And as Swamiji said, we are all one in different forms, in different bodies, but the source of power is the same. And if we start introspecting, we will be able to reach that source in a more efficient and more stronger way. And once we identify ourselves with that source more and more, the empathy for others will come automatically. So the whole purpose of Swamiji's mission was to help others will be realized more when we begin the process of self-realization first. When we start realizing our own self and we realize, oh, I'm part of that, but I'm also part of that, of which all my neighborhood is a part of the same thing. My fellow countrymen also belong to the same source. Automatically, the love will come from our own self towards the others. The love is the only binding force that will actually transform the society. If you don't have empathy for others, you'll never be able to feel the pain of the other person. And if you don't feel the pain, why are you going to redress the grievance of the other person? So you'll feel the pain only when you will realize that I have something, a duty toward that person. And that duty comes from that we belong to the same source, the same origin comes from same place. So my friends, young friends, give some time for self-realization. Give some time to your own self. If you want to help even your mother, your father, your brother, your neighbor, your friend, if you're not in your own realized self, you'll never be able to do that. You can do that, but not do that to the extent to which you'll be able to do when you are realized yourself in its total form. I think, my friends, and Saurav, I request you that on this youth conclave, we must ensure that each one of us are different if you look at it. Saurav is a different name. My young friend Gagana looks different. I look different. Swamiji look different. So we are different, undoubtedly. That's the beauty of nature. The nature believes in diversity. There are billions of species on the planet. Each species has a different identity, but they are all belonging to the one source. The biodiversity is a manifestation. The reality of that is a life, and the source of life is one. So if I don't only look at the diversity part of it, I'd say different, he's different, so I don't have to care for it. I'll never be able to help others as much as I can when I realize my own self, realizing that my self is coming from the same origin as the other biodiversity comes from. So we must give some time to our own self. When we start doing that, we'll start realizing our own responsibilities, our own duties in a more significant way, in a more robust way. And to do that, Swamiji's thoughts will always guide us. I always go to Belur Math. Almost every visit of mine to Kolkata is never complete if I don't go to Belur Math. And if I go to Belur Math, which I always do, my visit to Belur Math is not complete unless I go to Swamiji's room. And I sit there for a few seconds. The musical instruments are still kept there. The Swamiji's bed is there. Swamiji, of course, had very few worthy belongings. But whatever is there tells us that Swamiji, and I was talking to them, what was Swamiji used to do? Swamiji spent more time on realizing own self. Why? It's not a selfish idea. It's an idea only when you realize why you are here, why you are born, then only you will realize the purpose of your life. And the purpose of life, ultimately, in different, as Swamiji just now was saying, one may be chartered accountant, one may be lawyer, one may be doctor, one may be student, one may be farmer. But these are all a profession. But purpose of life is beyond that. These are all the normal duties that we can keep doing it. And once we realize the purpose of life, these professional activities also will go on well. Our duty towards society will be realized better, and we'll be able to build a much, much better society. The only true purpose of life is to spread good love towards our fellow people. And the youth can do that better because they have less baggage, unlike old man like me. They come with a cleaner slate than what I am. So please devote your time for realizing your own self and guiding the others also to do the same. But ultimately, try to help those who need the help the most. Don't try to just realize your own self for realizing money, realizing wealth, realizing this. There's nothing wrong in that. But that's not the whole purpose of life is. That is incidental, but not the true meaning of life. True meaning of life will come and will build better society. And we can build better society when we build better human being. And we cannot build a better human being asking others to be a better human being unless I myself become a better one. And that's what I think this conclave is meant for. I hope you do that. This is a link, as he said, between the past and the future. What is the past? Swamiji represents that timeless idea that he has given it to us. And what is the future? It can be, has to be better than what the present is. That's our duty. If we don't make future better than what it is, that means we have messed up with the opportunity that we had with us. And to not to mess that opportunity, we have to realize our own self. Please focus on that. And Saurabh, I really congratulate you for organizing this event. I'm very happy that you're working on this. I will really look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That's a huge inspiration for all of us.
Thank you so much, Suresh Prabhuji. It was really an enlightening session. Thank you for all your ice-breaking words on the lines of ignition. And definitely, we as the vehicles of Retro and Metro Saga will definitely build the binding chain from past to the future. And I now quote the words of B.R. Ambedkar: democracy is not merely a form of government. It is primarily a mode of associated living, of conjoined communicated experience. It is essentially an attitude of respect and reverence towards fellow men. On this auspicious occasion, we read to you the preamble of the Constitution with hope that as we strive towards building the Navabharat, we would hold the ideals and the values that our forefathers and makers of this great country gave us. I request Garima Graf to do the needful.
Thank you, Gagana. So, Swami Vivekananda was a thinker, philosopher, and a visionary. His values and principles are so timeless that it is relevant to every time and every age. His values can also be spotted in the Indian Constitution, right from his values of Vasudhaiva Kutumbam reflected in fraternity and secularism. His emphasis on universalization of education and character building can also be seen in right to education and in our fundamental duties. On this note, I'd like to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to read out the preamble today. The preamble of the Indian Constitution. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all of its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give ourselves this Constitution.
Thank you. Thank you, Garima. To take the event forward, I would like to introduce to our first guest speaker of the day, Professor Sumita Roy. Professor Sumita Roy has almost 40 years of experience in teaching university students. She has worked closely with youth of the nation, constantly working towards creating a better future. She has visited over a dozen countries on academic and other assignments. As the director of Osmania University Center for International Programs, she has executed memorandum of understanding with established universities across the country. Professor Roy has 47 books and 52 articles to her name in various national and international journals. She was conferred the Books on Books Award in 2006 by the Federation of Indian Publishers, New Delhi, for a publication titled Never Say No to Life. We are happy to have you, ma'am. I would now invite ma'am to share her few thoughts to our August gathering.
My pranams to revered Bodhamayanandaji Maharaj. My respects to Sri Suresh Prabhuji, all my fellow panelists, and the youth, the hope of this country. I'm really very happy that such an event is being organized on such a grand scale. I would love to speak on the topic which has been mentioned, that is, to be the ideal of service. Let us first talk about three very important things: the what of the topic, the why of the topic, and the how of the topic. First, the what. Now, what is this ideal of service which we are talking about? With reference to the great inspirer of youth, Swami Vivekananda. We heard two excellent ideas being presented by both our esteemed speakers before me. And we have got a background of what is Vivekananda's ideal of service. Vivekananda said that the two pillars on which he was building the foundation of this country were renunciation and service. These are the two words which he was using, renunciation and service. Swami Vivekananda also said, "They alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive." Let us look at this basis. Swamiji also felt that if you don't remember him, it's not important, as long as you remember and implement his ideas. He said he was a voice without a form. The form is not important. In fact, sometimes the form is critiqued also, as our revered Bodhamayanandaji will know in greater detail. But we are not interested only in the form or in the icon of Swami Vivekananda. We are interested in the brilliance of his execution of the ideas of his great master, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, of his great Guru Mata, Holy Mother Sharada Devi. So when we talk about renunciation and service, they are not actually different, because as we heard from Suresh Prabhuji, unless we learn to be unselfish, unless we change ourselves, unless we train ourselves, we are not going to serve anybody else. Great psychologists say that the newborn baby has only the mouth, consciousness of only the mouth, because it knows how to eat. No other consciousness. Slowly our body consciousness comes. So we have to realize that when we are talking about renunciation, renunciation is the step towards service. Because if we want to give ourselves to others, we must give them something which is worth giving. And that is why Swamiji also said that, we have to give, because that is life. If we live selfishly, that is not life at all. Bodhananandji mentioned this in great detail. Of course, he did not quote these exact words, but he mentioned it in great detail. So we have this idea as service coming from a self-effort. That is the what of the topic, ideal of service. Now we have to realize that when we are talking about service, what kind of service are we talking about? At one level, Swami Vivekananda was speaking about the downtrodden poor of India. So if we serve them, if we mitigate poverty, if we help the poor person with food, clothing, and shelter, is that the only service? Not really, because the ideal of service would be looking at Swamiji's essay, The Secret of Work. Very, very significant essay, which was prescribed in our state for the +2 students for maybe about 10, 12 years. Now, what does it say? It says that physical help is one level, level number 1, slightly higher, intellectual help, and higher still, spiritual help. So these are the 3 levels of help which we need to give. When we are talking about service, we are talking about this. When Swami Bodhananandji recited all the shlokas, what he was doing is the spiritual help aspect. When Suresh Prabhuji told us about the way in which he goes to Belur Math and the feelings he gets, he's changing our mindset. He's giving us intellectual help, not necessarily intellectual help as degrees, etc. Therefore, we need to, this is the what of our topic, ideal of service. Now we come to the next phase, and why? Why should we have this ideal of service? Today, we are celebrating our Republic Day. We are all enjoying a freedom as post-independence generations. We are all born after independence. We do not know how precious this independence is. We had Garima reading out the preamble. So holy, so sacred. So why do we require the ideal of service? We require service as an ideal because we do not seem to have a proper ideal. Before 1947, the ideal was the freedom of the country. All youth were inspired by this ideal. We have great youngsters putting their hearts and souls into this ideal. But today, because we already have that, there is a problem. So the why of our topic is that India does continue to have many problems. It is not as though if we have got independence, all our problems have disappeared magically. We have newer problems, problems which require to be sorted out. So if we not only do self-analysis, but we analyze the world around us, we can engage in service. That is why the why of service. Why should we dedicate ourselves to service is because we have various areas which require our self-effort, which required our combined effort, like this young group of Saurabh, Gagana, and all the other people. This kind of a young nucleus is required. We have to remember that our demographic dividend is, some more than 200 million youth. So out of these youth, are they inspired with this ideal? That is why the why of ideal. When we look at the great universities of the country advertising by saying that we have got so many lakhs of crores as our placement packages, what kind of ideal are we really teaching our students? That to get a big package and, to live a life, highly capitalistic, materialistic life? Is that the ideal? Are you going to serve using your capabilities, or are you not going to do that? So this is the second point. And the third, of course, what I would like to tell you is the how of it. I suppose that is most important. The youth will obviously know much about it. I don't have to tell you because, as Suresh Prabhuji said, we are the older generation. You are the youngsters, you're full of ideas. How would imply, let us find out who we are, what are our capabilities, and offer these capabilities to Bharat Mata, who is our goddess. So we are serving the nation by serving the people. You know, we have in Ramakrishna Math, if you see, you have Daridra Narayan Seva, you have Rogi Narayan Seva. It is not helping the poor people. It is helping Narayan in the form of these people. Therefore, what is it that we are capable of? If we are highly intellectually involved, can we change the attitude of the people? If we are technologically savvy, can we bring a social media revolution for changing the people, for changing the ideas of the people who are going to serve? The youth have to now find how they are going to do this. It is up to the youth to chalk out the blueprint. If you need any help with the blueprint, of course, all of us are there to chip in. You know, we are in your team. But what exactly are you capable of doing? How will you do it? That is up to you. I'm sure Youth for Good Governance is going to do a wonderful job. We are all there as the support system. You know, Sri Ramakrishna never went to Chicago. It's Swami Vivekananda who went to Chicago. So Sri Ramakrishna was there, always inspiring. So we have Bodhanandji, we have the entire organization of Ramakrishna Math, Sharada Math with us. Let us take their inspiration and march ahead. So the ideal of service will become a pragmatic reality. Namaste and thank you. Thank the organizers.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking us through your words of what, how, and why to be the true ideal of service. Ma'am, we are very much delighted and honored that you were the judge for Youth Ki Awaaz competitions. And we all know that Voice of Today have definitely and been constantly striving, pushing towards a better nation. They have a voice and they know how to use it. So we decided to give a forum to these budding voices in Voice of Youth under YUVA BESUGE 2022. It was an effort to give a platform to various criticisms and suggestions from youth on a topic of their choice. We were astounded by the thought process behind these entries. We congratulate all the participants for their contributions, and your entries remind us that we have a glorious future ahead with us. And we are very much elated that ma'am will be announcing the results now.
Should I?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, Voice of Youth, the first prize goes to a group, Siri Sriram, Geeta Krishna, Bharani K of VIHE. Oh, let's all clap for them. The second prize goes to Anindya Sarkar Das of Infosys. And the third one goes to Anna Dominic of Alfonso College, Kerala. Let's clap for all of them for their wonderful effort and also for their achievement.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Congratulations to all the winners. Moving on, now we have launch of Youth Conclave, the very awaited moment of the day. Being the future of the nation, the youth are also responsible for the development of the nation, isn't it? They are the most dynamic and important segments of the population in any country. Education is futile if it cannot help in elevating the travails of the public or develop character while instilling a sense of service, Swamiji used to say. The youth of nation have to be made to realize their role and importance as nation builders and the primary pillars of New India. With Swamiji's ideals and preachings with us, Youth for Good Governance announces National Youth Conclave, Youth Impact Crucible 2022 with the theme, Channelizing Youth Power Through the Ideal of Service. I now request all the dignitaries to please be part of this launch of Youth Conclave 2022. Over to you, Ankit.
Thank you very much, Gagana, and warm greetings to the distinguished guest of the day. So warm greetings to the distinguished guest of the day, the attendees, and everyone who is tuning in to watch us live. It is an honor to address such a prestigious gathering. I, Ankit Kumar Singh, am grateful for the presence of our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Suresh Prabhuji, respected Presidential Addressee Swami Bodhmayanand Maharajji, and the acclaimed speakers of the day, Professor Sumita Roy-ji, Advocate L. Ravichandar-ji, Professor N. Ravichandran-ji, Dr. Vivek Modi-ji, Sri Bhaskar-ji, and Sri Umesh Putana. I would like to start by sharing one real-life event that happened on 23rd March 1931. Three young friends with the eyes full of life walks towards the gallows. They reach gallows, kiss the rope, and wear it around their neck as a necklace. They were hanged till death. The death they suffered could only take away their life, but it couldn't kill their spirit. The death was only a temporary thing. These young men were Shahid Bhagat Singh, Shahid Rajguruji, and Shahid Sukhdev. These people gave their life as a ahuti for a yajna to free India. Mother India was always blessed with such children across all the time. Thousands of young men have given sacrifice of highest order whenever it was demanded. As I speak now, at this very moment, some brave young men are standing at the borders, ready with their life in one hand, just ready to fight any type of battle, either it may be mental, physical, emotional, or tactical. It is well known that the future of a nation lies in the hands of its youth. And since we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav this year, we need to remember a young man in the past who gave their lives so we could enjoy this free India. We are in debt of those glorious men of past and also to a young generation which is yet to come. All we have got is this great country for a brief moment of time to time. The question which we need to ask ourselves is what country are we going to give to our next generation? And if our answer is a great country, a country which is respected by our world, a country which is cause of the most human well-being in the world, then we need to work now itself because the time we have on earth is very small. So here is the formula which was given to us 150 years back by the monk of the highest order. Act on the educated men, bring them together, organize them. Great things can be done by a great sacrifices only. No selfishness, no name, no fame. Yours or mine, nor my master's even. Work, work, work the idea, the plan, my boys, my brave, noble, good souls. To the wheel, put your shoulders. And it is a fact that youth is the key to our glorious future. Educating them, training them, recognizing them, and celebrating ones which have set examples of extraordinary work is very important. This is what we want to achieve in the youth conclave. As Sri Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, people follow whatever a person of excellence does. The world emulates the standard set by such a one. Also, Swami Vivekananda ji says, and I will quote, "Nothing will avail in our country without setting a glowing and living example before the people." What we want are some young men who will renounce everything and sacrifice their lives for their country's sake. We should first form their lives and then some real work can be expected. So we want to recognize the youth for their service to the society, recognize young people for their extraordinary service and celebrate them as the heroes of our society. So with this idea in mind and blessing of Swamiji, we are relaunching our Youth Impact Crucible 2022. Shivam, can you confirm it is visible?
Yes, it's visible, Ankit.
So our theme for 2022 is channelizing youth power through the idea of service. This platform is dedicated to young change makers pursuing graduation and undergraduation degrees from different institutions of India and who is actively involved in influencing life and bringing positive social change through their service. So it is an opportunity that encourages young men, young student change makers to showcase the impact of their service in society and influence thousands of young minds to involve themselves in the service of the nation and the people. So domains of for youth conclave are: first, impacting the lives of underprivileged children, education and skill. So as we all know, children carry a lot of dreams in their eyes. Dreams are bigger than the resources they have. We can be the one who can make sure their dreams never die. It is all about planting a tree and seeing the colors blossom. Second domain is impacting the green cover of the community or educational institution. Your goals under this theme should be address issues such as green campus concept, tree plantation drive in your community, social and behavioral change, or some out-of-the-box sustainability models, and most importantly, your role as an environmental leader. The third domain is the power of youth in improving conditions for health. Health in the broad sense also happens in the places where people live, work, learn and play. In organizing community, residents have become an increasing approach to promote the health of the public or population health. And fourth domain is service to aged people. Elders desire a life with good health, dignity, economic independence, and finally a peaceful death. They long for a care, love, and affection. Understanding their needs and concerns will ensure their good health. So these are the information about the competition. Participant will be requested to are requested to fill the basic requirements form, which will be available on our website today. The eligibility criteria for participants are any undergraduate or postgraduate student. The presenters must be a team from a same or different institution and minimum 3 to 5 members in the team. The platform is designed to demonstrate a tangible impact created by change makers and not only the ideas or theories of change. The participants will have to register and attempt their first round of selection, which will be online. The first round will be the final round will be an offline event where each team would be given 20 minutes to present their stories of service and impact. Presentation can be on English or any other regional levels are also allowed. So talking about opportunities, shortlisted participants will be invited to present their ideas, their stories for the change at Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, Hyderabad. The shortlisted change makers will be provided with mentorship support by renowned social leaders of India, which will help them to scale their idea in scope of intervention. They will be getting the opportunity to attend a week-long leadership training organized by Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, Ramakrishna Math, Hyderabad, and also there will be certificates and recognition. So this is our timeline. We are relaunching the Youth Impact Crucible, and 31st March 2022 will be a deadline for first round. 30th April 2022 is the announcement of result for first round. 15th May 2022 submission of final round PPTs. 10th and 11th July 2022 Youth Conclave, and 12th July 2022 onwards the leadership training. So with all this, I will stop, and my thank you to everyone and my pranam to everyone. Links are available on our website. Thank you very much.
Once again, this platform is dedicated to young change makers pursuing graduate and undergraduate degrees from different institutions of India and is actively involved in influencing lives and bringing positive social change through their service. And I take profound pleasure to announce our project coordinators for Youth Conclave, Impact Crucible 2022 to be Ankit Kumar Singh and Shivam Gupta. Congratulations, both of you, and looking forward to an amazing cohort group of 2022. I now call upon our next speaker of the day, Advocate L. Ravichandar. Sir is a rank-holding economics graduate from Osmania University and a law graduate from Chennai. He has been a practicing lawyer for over 4 decades and a part-time journalist over 3 decades. He is a designated senior counsel. He was the legal reporter of UNI from 1978 to 1980 and has been associated with Times of India ever since it started publication in Hyderabad. We are honored to have you, sir. I now request you to please address the guest.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Governor. And I suspect that the Honorable former Minister must have left. Of course, Swamiji is there, and there's a message there, and I quite understand that. I'm also going to sound a little different from what everybody else said. You must permit me this slightly discordant note that I would be placing. Are you able to hear me? Because I keep getting a message which says unmute myself.
Yeah.
You're able to hear me.
Clear.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, sorry for the bad news. You're able to hear me. Right. Now, the topic that was given to me was my nation, my pride, my rule. So it's very my-centric. And the moment it's my-centric, probably the only job I have to tell you is ensure that it's not eccentric, and it's all fine and done. But I have a very interesting story to take from Indian epics, the Ramayana. There's this story that Bharata, which is an entire group of people, reached the riverbed with a request to Guha to take them to Chitrakoot to meet Ramji. At that stage, initially Guha, like so many others, suspect the intent of Bharata, but on being convinced of his nobility, decide to take him. Now, Bharata, what he does very interestingly is he sings high praise of Kaushalya, of Sumitra, and insultingly introduces his own mother Kaikeyi to Guha. Few minutes later, what he observes is whatever may be his introduction of Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra to Guha, Guha gives a lot more respect to Kaikeyi than he gives to Kaushalya and Sumitra, much to everybody's curiosity and surprise. Bharata, I'm told, can't hold its back, and therefore he asks Guha at a later point in time, how is it that after all that I said great about Kaushalya and Sumitra, you pay greater reverence to Bharata, to Kaikeyi, than to Kaushalya and Sumitra? Guha's answer is my start to all of you today. He said, I don't know your politics. I don't know what happened in your family. All that I know is, it is because of her action that I had the privilege of playing the boatman to Rama. This is my politics. Therefore, it was because of Kaikeyi that I had Ram Darshan. Therefore, to me, Kaikeyi is more important than anybody else. Pure and simple. It was his theory. So, I wonder if there is a universal my India. I wonder if there's a universal my nation. As a consequence, is there a pride in my nation? And what is my role in creating that pride? all of us have different approaches, all of us have different roles. I am not like the professor, I'm not a great minister like Suresh ji. I don't have the learning of Swamiji. Who am I? I'm a very small guy who made a little bit of money telling a few lies in a court of law and moved on. But I go to sleep in peace. And I go to sleep in peace because I answer my conscience. I tell myself, if I can do what I have to do with my life, if I don't talk high stuff and do little, if I can set normal goals. You know, there's a very interesting book Swamiji spoke of the other day at another session. He spoke about this book, the Vivekananda Handbook of Everyday Living by Anshul Chaturvedi. Swamiji, the book is there with me. Anshul says, the greatest thing about Swamiji is he develops in people a sense of absolute carelessness about everybody else. Stop waiting for approbation or criticism from people. Be yourself. And M.S. Subbulakshmi did not sing at the Sangeet Sammelan so that people will appreciate her Bhairavi or her Todi. She sang from her heart. When Saurav Ganguly hit that cover drive off the offside, he was not waiting for 4 more runs. He was waiting for grace written on the offside. When a great writer like anybody, like a Frost or a Darwin or a Dickens or anybody wrote, they wrote from passion. If you want to leave an impression of what you say and what you do, only thing you need to do is be passionate about what you're saying and doing. It's as simple as that. All these rich images on, you know, you must be this, you can do that, you can become a great person, swim the hard currents, or what am I? Left foot. Why would you swim the waters? You'd like to have a nice sauna bath. People are talking to you about great sacrifice. Why should anybody sacrifice? Everybody will learn and work for what he's entitled to in life. Yes. It is true that we will be tolerant to those who are not as well and luxuriously placed as we are. We have been blessed for where we are, for what we are doing, and where we can go. Understand that this blessing given to us is of immense importance to all of us. And if we can impact some small little group, some small little set of people, you would have done your job with life. I, however, hate giving advice to anybody. I'm just sharing thoughts with all of you. I would say, today when I wake up and look at a newspaper or look at a news channel, what worries me immensely is that while some of us are talking Vivekananda, some of us are talking about the great Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, there are people dividing us. There's hate, there's violence. Can we do something about that? Can we stop writing hate speeches in WhatsApp? Can we put our hands up and say this is wrong when somebody says that Bose and Nehru did not like one another? Or somebody starts owning up some political leader as greater than some other political leader? Can we stop all this nonsense? Can we get India back on her rails? That's all we need to do. India will take care of herself. I was once talking to a very, very great musician, and I was worried about how one kind of classical music in India was not getting the kind of space it deserves. He said, Ravi, shut up. It's too big. You and I don't have to break our heads. It'll outlast all of us. Let us have that humility that we are not making this world what it should be. It's much larger. It's much greater. Our job as pygmies in the cosmos is to ensure that our little units are emotionally hygienic, friends, I said I would hate to give advice. But the only thing I would say is, while I would hate to give advice, from experience, there is one thing I would like to share with all of you, and that is open up your brains, open up your mind. And the only way you can do that is read. Keep reading with passion. Read every goddamn thing that you can get your hands on. Don't read Swami Vivekananda alone. Swami Vivekananda himself has said this. If you want to respect the man, respect his idea. Don't respect his saffron. Don't respect the style of what he said. Respect the content of what he said. So read Vivekananda copiously and read others who would disagree with Vivekananda also copiously and make up your mind on which side we all are. I'll sign off with a few lines by a famous poet, his name Pradeep. He said, हम लाए हैं तूफान से किश्ती निकाल कर, इस देश को रखना मेरे बच्चों संभाल कर। देखो कभी बर्बाद न होए ये बगीचा, इसको हृदय के खून से बापू है खींचा। रखा है ये चिराग शहीदों ने बाल के, इस देश को रखना मेरे बच्चों संभाल के। दुनिया के दाव पेंच में से रखना नवासना वास्ता, मंजिल तुम्हारी दूर है लंबा है रास्ता। भटका न जाए दे कोई तुम्हें धोखे में डाल के, इस देश को रखना मेरे बच्चों संभाल के। Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for actually enlightening us and for your words of wisdom. It's definitely OV-centric now. YUVA 2022 hosted an array of competitions, be it quiz, elocution, essay writing, voice of youth, whatnot. We are actually overwhelmed and thank the potential youth of the nation for their active participation in all the competitions. The most important part of any competition is the will to participate.
Gagana,
yes,
I'll just interrupt for 1 minute. I just wanted to tell you two things. One is I myself a former international fellowship winner of the Rotary. So thank you, Rotary, for having me here. And the other is I conduct innumerable quizzes and debates in Hyderabad. So in future, whenever you want, I'm just a call away. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Definitely we'll take note of this and for our future projects, and definitely we'll collaborate with you. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, moving on with the competitions, we are like very much elated to announce the results of quiz and elocution now. I request one of our judge panelists, Ms. Romita Handa from Girl Up Organization, to announce the results.
Right. Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. A very good evening, everyone. A very happy Republic Day, firstly. I'm honored that I could become a part of such a wonderful event. And my esteemed thanks to Rotaract Club of Kormangla and Youth for Good Governance Foundation for bestowing me with this honor. Coming to the tough part, which is announcing the results. And before I do that, let me begin by applauding each one of you. The judging was extremely tough, and I'm so proud that young people like you, the future of our country, walks on Swamiji's path. And this was reflected in your speeches, in your writings, and most importantly, in your thinking. As I said, the judging was extremely tough. Each one of you was exceptionally brilliant. However, following the format, I had to choose the winners. But for me, personally, each one of you was a winner. So let's start with the quiz. The first prize goes to Dattappa Hiranmai. And apologies if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. The second prize goes to K. Deepta. The third prize goes to Ahisha Satya. Heartiest congratulations to each one of you. Well done. Let's applaud for them. They deserve it. They deserve every bit of it. for essay writing, junior category. And I was awestruck when I read each of your articles, poems, everything. It was jaw dropping. And I'm so proud of each one of you. So the first prize goes to T. Sparsh Singh. The second prize goes to Kirti from Pallavi International School. And the third prize goes to M. Siri, Carmel Convent School, Telangana. Let's applaud for them. They deserve every bit of it. Heartiest congratulations to each one of you and all the very best. I'm sure you'll continue to make us proud. Jai Hind, Jai Swamiji.
Thank you so much, Ramita. Congratulations to all the winners. We thank all the participants, and definitely we are giving e-certificates to all the participants, and definitely we applaud your hard work and wish you all the best. Now I invite Rotaract Club of Kormangla President, Rotractor Syed Ajas, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Gagana. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gagana. A lot has been said and done already. I would like to thank every speaker, each and every speaker who participated today. Starting from our chief guest, Sri Suresh Prabhu sir, and the presidential address was given by Swami Bodhmayanandaji. Thank you so much for accepting each and every speaker. So let me quickly start with a very small story, because I do not have much time. This is a story of a boy who was very naive and very not very eloquent, I would say. And this happened when the boy was in his 11th standard. He was studying in Chennai in a school named the Hindu Senior Secondary School. And on the notice board, he saw a competition, a personality development competition that was announced by Sri Ramakrishna Mission. And he had to participate, and probably there were a lot of gifts and prizes that were promised to this boy. So he went to his teacher and told that he wanted to participate. The teacher mockingly told, you're not very eloquent, and this is an oratorical competition. What could probably become of you? And the boy said, I still want to give it a try, because he had been acquainted and used to going to the Ramakrishna Hospital in Mylapore with his mother. Because this happened, and then the boy ended up winning the Chennai district competition of oratorical. It was a transformation journey for this kid, and that kid is the president of Rotaract Club of Kormangla today, and that is me. So my acquaintance with Ramakrishna Mission starts way back before 20 years when we used to go to the hospital. I luckily lived in Mylapore, and I did my schooling from the Hindu Senior Secondary School in Chennai. So my first acquaintance with Swami Bodhmayanandaji, I don't know if he remembers it. This was way back in 2011 when he had announced a competition, and he was awarding the district level prizes. And the prize that I had got was a book written by Swami Bodhmayanandaji himself. He had, I'm not sure if it was written by him or it was given by the Vivekananda Mission or the Ramakrishna Mission. It was titled My Eternal India, and it was written by Swami. I mean, there were a lot of things that were there which involved Swamiji's, and a lot of perspectives and everything. Since then, I have been a fanboy, Swamiji. I've been following you all around, and I did read your book, which came out in 2014. After that, when I went to college, Mind and Modern Problems was the name of the book. I read that, and it gave me a lot of perspective. So being a very naive student to growing on to become a leader of a Rotaract club, which has close to about 60 members from different parts of the city, and of course India itself, is such a great honor and such a great feeling. So this is my first class experience with the mission, with the trust, and with Swami Vivekananda himself, because a lot of things that he says, we spoke about relevancy, but what amuses me is it breaks down all the social aspects of it. It is relevant to each and every individual, irrespective of religion, irrespective of caste or creed, or irrespective of all these boundaries that we might have drawn. So before leaving you, one thing that I would request all my young friends to do here is, I'm not sure if you guys have heard it, please YouTube the speech that was given by Swami Vivekananda in Chicago. it is a wonderful speech where when he starts by saying, my dear brothers and sisters of America, and he gets a standing ovation from the entire crowd, and then the speech continues for the next 17 minutes or so. I would request you to go back and do that after the event ends, of course. There's a lot of insight that you will get from the speech. There's a lot of clarity that you will get from the speech, and a lot of leadership that you can definitely pick up. So on that note, I thank all the participants for participating, and Youth for Good Governance for giving us this wonderful opportunity to collaborate, and of course Retractor Gagana for taking it up and pulling off the wonderful show. I would like to conclude my speech by saying, may Swami Vivekananda bless us all and lead mankind from darkness to light. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Syed. Now we have another guest speaker, Shri N. Bhaskar. He is an assistant staff in the Abhisheka Netradam Eye Hospital. He is the president of Sannada Trust and secretary at the Trinetra Trust. He also works as a counselor for depressed, alcoholic, and drug-addicted peoples. He was awarded with Bala Sahiti for the Kavana he wrote in the magazines, and he was felicitated by Padma Shri Doddarange Gowda, and he has been honored by many voluntary organizations for his noble work. Having you here, it's a true inspiration, and definitely you would represent to be the youth icon. I invite you to please share your thoughts.
Thank you so much, Gaganaji. My pranams at the divine feet of the divine trio. My pranams at the holy feet of Pujya Swami Bodhamayanandaji Maharaj. My namaskars to all the respected guests and also for the Rotary family. My best wishes for all the youths who have participated, who have came forward to risk. Risk in the sense, reinvention of your skills and knowledge. I feel I'm very fortunate to share my thoughts and feelings, culminating the ideas that were propounded, that were presented in today's evening session. I'm very happy to be here, and I wish to continue the topic and sharing my thoughts in Kannada language. ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಸಹ 3 ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಗಮನವನ್ನ ಇಕ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತರುಣರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದು ಆ 3 ವಿಚಾರ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ದೇಹಬಲ, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮನೋಬಲ, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಆತ್ಮಬಲ ಅಂತ. ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನನಗೆ ರೋಟರಿ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತಹ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಮಸಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಐರನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಬ್ಬಿನಂತಹ ಮಾಂಸಖಂಡ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಉಕ್ಕಿನಂತಹ ನರಮಂಡಲ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಜ್ಞಾನ ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ತಿನ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಷ್ಟು ವೇಗವಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಅಗೋನೂರು ಗುಡ್ಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪುದಿಮಾದಿ ತೈಲ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳುವಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮಬಲ ಇರಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಮ ತರುಣರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ದೇಹಬಲ, ಮನೋಬಲ ಮತ್ತು ಆತ್ಮಬಲ ನಮಗಿದ್ಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಈಗಿನ ತಾರುಣ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಇದ್ಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬೇಕೋ, ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಿರುವ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸುವಂತಹ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ನಾವು ರೂಢಿಸ್ಕೊಂತೀಗ ಅಂತ. ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ನೋದಬಾರದು, ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬಾರದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾರೋ, ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಂದಿರು ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾರೋ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ದೇಹ ಬಲ ಅಂದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಬಲ ನೆನಪಾಗೋದು, ನಮಗೆ ಗುರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮುಖ್ಯವೋ ಸಾಧನವೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಲೌಕಿಕ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಾಧನೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಾಗಿದ್ರು ದೇಹದ ಸ್ಪಂದನೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮರಿಬಾರದು. ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯೂ ಸಹ ನಮಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಒಬ್ಬ ತರುಣ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ತರುಣನನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಕಲಿಯೋದೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರ ಜೀವನ ಅಂತ. ನಮಗೇನಾದ್ರೂ 300 ರಿಂದ 400 ವರ್ಷದ ಜೀವಿತಾವಧಿ ಕೊಟ್ರು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಕೇವಲ 39 ವರ್ಷ 5 ತಿಂಗಳು 24 ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರು ಎಂತೆಂತ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರ 159ನೇ ಜನ್ಮ ದಿನೋತ್ಸವದಂದಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದಿನ 1500 ವರ್ಷ ಆದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರ ಚಿಂತನೆಗಳು ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಸಾರವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಸಾರವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸಂಶಯವೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಇನ್ನು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹುತೇಕ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಗುರಿ ಏನು? ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ತಮ ಶ್ರೇಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಉತ್ತಮ ಶ್ರೇಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ರಮಬದ್ಧವಾದ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸಾಧನ. ಕ್ರಮಬದ್ಧವಾದ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಉತ್ತಮ ಶ್ರೇಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ, ಆ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನ ಮುಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವೋ ಅದೇ ತರ ಆ ಗುರಿಗೆ ತಲುಪಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಮಾರ್ಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಧನಕ್ಕೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ದೇಹ ಬಲಿಷ್ಠವಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ, ದೇಹ ಶಕ್ತಿಯುತವಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೆಲಸವೂ ಬಂದ್ರೂ ಅದನ್ನ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ದಿಟ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಎದುರಿಸಬರುವಂತಹ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೆನಪಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನು ದೇಹದ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಶಕ್ತಿ ದುಪ್ಪಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನಾವು ಯಾವ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಭಾವಿಸಿದೀವೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವೋ ಆ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲೂ ಯಾವುದೇ ಅಡೆತಡೆಗಳು ಬಂದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಪಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ತಗ್ಗಿ ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಯೇ ತಿರುತ್ತೇನೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇದೆ ಆಗ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಕಲಿಸಿದ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯ ಯಾವುದೇ ಜೀವನದ ಗತೆಯನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇದನ್ನ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಇನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಆತ್ಮಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಂತ. ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ್ಮಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಸಂಕೇತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆತ್ಮಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ನಮಗೆ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಸ್ತಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಿನಗೆ ಸೂಕ್ತ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಿಂಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಒಬ್ಬ ನನಗೆ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಸ್ತಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾವ್ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊರಗಿರೋನನ್ನ ಸದಾ ಬದಿದು ಅವನನ್ನ ಮಲಗಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೆಬ್ಬಸಕ್ ಹೋಗೋದೇ, ಅವ್ನು ಎದೋಗೋದು ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಷ್ಟ್ ಸಲ ಎಬ್ಬಸಿದ್ರು ನೀನ್ ನನಗ್ ಬೈತೀಯ ಹೊಯ್ತೀಯ ಅಂತ ಅದ್ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆತ್ಮಶಕ್ತಿ ಮಾತ್ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತೋ ಆಗ ನಿಜಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ನಾವು ಬದುಕಿತ್ತು ಸತ್ತಂತೆ ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಸಹ ತಪ್ಪನ್ನ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಮಿಸ್ಲೀಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಇನ್ನು ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಆಹಾರ ಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ತಿನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಪದಾರ್ಥ ಹೇಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದ ಶಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೋ ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ನಮ್ಮ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ, ನಮ್ಮ ಆಲೋಚನಾ ಶಕ್ತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಂಚಭೂತಗಳು ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಕಣ್ಣು, ಮೂಗು, ಕಿವಿ, ನಾಲಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಚರ್ಮ, ಈ ಪಂಚಭೂತಗಳಿಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಅಮೂಲ್ಯವಾದಂತಹ ಊಟವನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ರೋಟರಿ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಯುವ ಬೇಸಿಗೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅಶ್ಯೂರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಈಗೇನ್ 5 ನಾವು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಬಂದ್ವಿ. ಸುಮಿತಾ ಅಮ್ಮನ ಮಾತುಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರ ಮಾತುಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರಭುಜಿಯವರ ಮಾತುಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನು ರವಿಚಂದ್ರರವರ ಮಾತುಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನು ಇವತ್ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಯುವಕರಿಗೂ ಕೇಳೋದೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನಿಂದ ಮುಂದಿನ 6 ತಿಂಗಳ ತನಕ ನೀವಾಗ ಏನೇ ಓದುವಿಕೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ತೆಗೆದು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರನ್ನ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ವೈ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ you can overcome, you can become from ordinary to extraordinary person. ಸೊ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರ ಚಿಂತನೆಗಳು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೆನಪಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಮಯದ ಅಭಾವ, ನಾನು ಗಗನಜಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ 7 ನಿಮಿಷಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಮಾತನ್ನ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಯುವಕರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸೋದು, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಯು ಆರ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಲಯನ್ಸ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಲಯನ್ಸ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಟು ಅಚೀವ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬಿಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಯೂತ್ಸ್, big works are waiting for you to get completion. You are the only person to complete that big thoughts, big achievement. So why are you sitting quietly? Why are you sitting quietly? Please come out and work for the nation. Come out, work on the basis of Swami Vivekananda thoughts. ನನ್ನ ಧೀರ ಪುತ್ರರೇ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಹತ್ ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಗಂದ್ರೆ ಜನ್ಮವನ್ನ ತಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ನಾಯಿಯ ಬೊಗವಿಕೆಗೆ ಅಪವಿತ್ರರಾಗಬೇಡಿ. ಸಿಡಿಲ ಗರ್ಜನೆಗೂ ಸಿಡಿಲ ಗರ್ಜನೆಯೂ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಅಂಜದಂತಿರಬೇಕು. ಎದ್ದು ನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯೋನ್ಮುಖರಾಗಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಶರೀರವನ್ನ ಸದಾ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಸದಾ ಚುರುಕಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಹೃದಯವನ್ನ ಸದಾ ಉತ್ಸಾಹಭರಿತವಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ 7 ನಿಮಿಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಮಾತನಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೋಟರಿ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸಹೃದಯ ಸೇವಾ ಮನಸ್ಸುಗಳಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಿರಿಯ ಮನಸ್ಸುಗಳಿಗೂ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಮತ್ತು ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆಯ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಸಮರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಮುಗಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್, ವಂದೇ ಮಾತರಂ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಭಾಸ್ಕರ್ ಸರ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಯುವಕರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಜಾಗೃತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. Now I take pride to introduce to our next guest speaker, Dr. Vivek Modi. He is a distinguished professional speaker and wellness educator. Since the year 2010, he has been helping working professionals and business owners from the world, over the world in communicating with authority and growing as a leader. He is a qualified doctor and has 6 years of administrative experience in corporate organizations. He is also a trainer and a senior faculty at YIHE, Hyderabad. His programs on holistic wellness for personal and professional effectiveness, spiritual intelligence for professional excellence, and time discipline life maximizer are extremely well received in business circles. We are delighted to have you, sir. I now invite Mr. Modi to share with us his words of wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gagana, and your entire team of Rotrek Kormangla, Saurabh Mukherjee, and your entire team with the Youth for Good Governance, and of course, Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, Hyderabad. I am truly honored and very happy to be part of this program. My pranams to Pujya Swami Bodhamayananda ji. My namaste to all distinguished fellow panelists. I have the topic that you are the nation builders. And I'm addressing primarily it keeping youth in mind. So my warm namaste to all the youth warriors of Swami Vivekananda who are present in this. I must begin by congratulating this entire team. It makes me really happy that the way you have all organized this event. I was just observing the meticulous planning, the way you have sent us emails, the way you have created a social media presence. That shows that you are taking this work hands-on. And I think it's very, very important to take the youth through this process, because there's always a gap between a theory and practical. And only when you organize, you actually learn the true lessons. So my hearty congratulations to the entire team once again. Now, let me come to the topic. You are the nation builders. Often, we look up to politicians, bureaucrats, some of the popular figures when it comes to do anything at a big level, at national level. And we often find faults with them. It is because of politicians, it is because of corrupt bureaucracy, it is because of X, Y, Z. But a simple question, I'm sure, if Swamiji were there today, he would ask, what are you doing, my dear friend? Youth, what are you doing? You make the largest portion of our population. What's your role? And this is a very pertinent question we all need to ask. Because if we want India to really lead the world, and why should India lead the world? Is it because we are born here? Is it because it is our country? No, that's not the reason. Vivekananda's idea of nationalism, and especially about India, was fundamentally because he truly believed that India can, the idea of spirituality, which is the soul of India, it is going to protect the world from the onslaught of materialism. It is essential in order for the well-being of the entire world. So India has to rise, realizing its true potential, because it has to save the world. Not from the point of view of that we are some superhumans and we have to do it, but we are fortunate to born with the ethos where we have such structures, where we have a very ancient time-tested culture, which has the ability, capability, and the experience to show the world that how to live in harmony. That's why we need to build it. Not just with a selfish mean that this is my country and that's why I do it. Now, what would be one idea which I think Swamiji would have liked the youth to appreciate? If you read Swami Vivekananda, you would find one key thought which he propagated through his many of writings and speeches was about the idea of being fearless. His quote about strength is life, weakness is death is very, very popular. Why it is that in general people live their life in fear? And why do I feel that youth today needs this message with clarity? Now, some of you may think, why do you think that we are fearful? Because I see it in the decisions of the youth. I see how our youth plan their career. What are their choices? It's not what we say reveals our true nature, it's our choices which reveal our true nature. I often interact with many youth and I ask them this question: what do you want to be? What's your goal? What's your aim? And commonest answer is, number one, if possible, a government job. Number two, if possible, a job in a multinational company. These are two most popular answers. There are other answers too, but these answers would be given by at least 6 to 7 out of 10 people in a general setup. That means, what is youth looking for? Youth is looking for protection first. Why does a 20-year young wants a government job? What is that liking? Do we want government service? How many of us really go to a government hospital, send our kids to a government school, unless there are no options? How many of us really cherish government services? We don't. But we want government jobs. Why? Especially in the smaller towns of India, I have seen this, that there is only one mission, government job. As if life without that doesn't exist. Now, my question is, if a youth of 20-year-old looks for protection first, looks for security first, it is a clear indication that somewhere his thought, his psyche is filled with the idea of being fearful. I want security, guarantee. And if the youth of nation is ridden with fear, with this kind of psychology, they can never lead the world. Swamiji told about idea of spirituality as well. One of the clear signs of being spiritual is somebody who is spiritual is fearless. Somebody who is spiritual is fearless. There are many occasions in Swamiji's life, from childhood till his monkhood, where the display of courage was quite evident. As a child, when he went to that champaka tree where somebody told there is a ghost, he didn't care. Meditating when a snake was nearby. I'll tell you one more funny thing. When he was in his Western journey, there were people who used to feel jealous, who used to make fun. We were a colony, British colony. So Indians were not respected as much as they deserved. Somebody to make fun of this young dynamic monk told, Swamiji, can you tell me what is the difference between a monkey and a monk? What is the difference between a monkey and a monk? Look at his courage, because being in that country and coming from a colony country, people were not expecting such kind of answers. But Swamiji very quickly, wittingly answered him, the difference between a monk and a monkey is just 2 feet. Just 2 feet. You and me are 2 feet apart. Look at the courage. I don't know how many of us live with this courage. What is the solution? Intellectually, we can think about getting rid of fear. But you know, it is in our brain, our normal training, our normal, what I can say, brain's normal tendency is, its priority is survival, not thrival. Survival is the first goal of human brain. If anything happens, it will either fight or flight, run away. And everything else will shut down. To get rid of fear, we need to operate from our higher centers. We need to operate from something technically we call prefrontal cortex, which can give us a higher perspective, literally. If we are too much body conscious, we can never get rid of our fear. But if we get evolved in our spiritual path, fearlessness is a natural byproduct. That's why Alexander could not take Diogenes with him, a monk who was lying naked in the jungle. Whole Alexander's army could not make him fearful because he was spiritual. Indian idea is to rule the world, just rule yourself. To rule the world, don't go and conquer others, just rule yourself. That's Indian idea. That's Indian ethos. So what are the 2 ideas I want to give and close my talk with in last 3 minutes? 2 ideas if you want to really become fearless, if you want to really live to your fullest, if you want to really follow the path shown by Swami Vivekananda. Number 1, possibility thinking. Number 2, experimentation. Add these 2 words to your vocabulary. Possibility thinking. Look at this idea of entire program and the many other events which you have been doing. These are results of possibility thinking. Somebody among you thought, what if we do it like this? What if we create an organization called Youth for Good Governance? What if we do? These were all possible thoughts which came to somebody's mind. Possibility thinking gives you an opening in a new world. Otherwise, many of us live our life in a cage, confirmation bias. So think of some new ideas. Second very important thought is experimentation. Because many of us do not try new things in life because we are fearful of failures. Unfortunately, it has become a stigma in our country. Failures, either it's academic or business, people consider it as a big stigma. So use the word experimentation because that word takes away the burden of failure. Experiments may fail, right? So tell yourself, let me experiment with something new. Let me try some other approach. 10 years back, 11 years back, I tried it. People told, you are a doctor, how can you be a speaker? I told, where it is written that a doctor cannot be a speaker? Is there only one way to serve if you become a doctor? Why can't I use my knowledge of medicine to ensure that people never go to hospital? So I became a wellness educator. Because I don't want any of my degrees, any of my thing to become a burden. Your education should liberate you. Your ideas should liberate you. And therefore, it's very, very important to follow these 2 commandments. These 2 principles. I will think, possibility thinking. What if I did like this and not like that? I thought it 11 years back. What if instead of doing a job like a normal doctor, if I did something different, which is more appealing to me, which is probably more required in India, and which fits more to my profile, I did that. And this is my 12th year in that journey. Two possibility thinking. Open your eyes beyond government jobs and beyond multinational companies. There are many things, and we are living in a very exciting world today. And experimentation, not with smoking and drinking, experimentation with your ideas. Because if a country of 140 crore feels so happy because a small country like France gives us Rafale, it's a question to the youth of this country, my dear friend, what are you doing? Why do you need a jet from a small country and feel so proud about it, flaunting it? So we have to do these two things in our life. Use these two words regularly. Try to do some new things. Experiment with your ideas. Be a little bold. It's okay to fail. Try new things. Of course, within brackets, within some limitations. And I'm sure you would be able to get rid of clutches of fear and operate from the higher center and justify your potential and not live that limited, bracketed life. So with this message, I would like to thank once again all the organizers, this wonderful youthful team, youth team. Thank you so much for having me here. It's truly a privilege, and my best wishes for your future endeavors. I truly wish that you all succeed and your tribe grows. Thank you so much once again. Namaste.
Thank you so much, sir. Your ideas to be the true nation builder, it's so much showcased, and we'll just take it as guiding light to us. Your compliments are actually taken as one of the milestone to brick in constructing the strongest and potential team. Thank you very much, sir, again, for being there with us and addressing our gathering. And success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, experimentation, and most of all, love of what you're doing or learning to do, said feeling. We are now coming to another round of awards to be given away. The category for this round is essay writing competition. With extreme pride, I would like to invite Ms. Kirti to announce the winners.
Good evening, everyone. We now come to another category of recognitions to be given away. We shall begin with essay writing seniors category. The winner of the essay writing seniors category is Geeta Krishnan from Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence. The second prize goes to Amreen Fatima from Jyoti Nivas College. The third position has been won by Samaragi Bhattacharya from Jyoti Nivas College. Congratulations to all the winners. We shall now give away recognitions for the elocution competition. The first position is bagged by Miss Purti. The second prize goes to Naisha Chavra. And finally, the third prize is bagged by Ahisha Satya. Congratulations to all the winners. I now hand over the stage back to Ms. Gagana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kirti, and congratulations to all the winners. You'll definitely be getting an e-certificate, and all the winners, there's something, a big Hangama package that's coming all your way. Keep waiting and keep be motivated, and congratulations again. I now invite the final guest speaker for the day, and thank you so much, sir, for patiently being there to the entire event. He's none other than Rotarian Umesh Putana. He's always said to be the customer-centric personality who worked with service-oriented company as a senior manager, customer care and quality, presently in organic products of chemical-free edible oils. Since his Rotaract journey from 1996, he initiated various health camps, organizer in Chitrakala Parishad, served as Rotaract Peenya president in the year 1919-20, Rotary District Secretary for Peenya 2000 and 2001, and District Rotaract representative for the year 2002-2003, Rotary Bangalore Vijayanagar president 2019-20, and currently serving as the District Interact Committee chair. Sir, your presence actually makes it all. We are very much eagerly waiting to hear from you about young toddlers to change makers. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rotractor Gagana, for this good and simple introduction. Thank you very much. Youth for Good Governance. Thank you. His Holiness Swami Bodhna Mayananda ji, my humble pranams to your lotus feet. We had good speakers of the day who made a big difference. When most of the heads have spoken, there is nothing for the tail to wag now actually. And being the last speaker, I do not like to take more time, and I would like to brief out a very small informations. As an youngster, what exactly is required for everyone is that matters. See, January 12th being Vivekananda birthday, and today is a Republic Day. Merging both things was a unique concept which was brought in by Youth for Good Governance Foundation. Kudos to you, friends. And Swami Vivekananda was a great philosopher and a monk. Keeping all the speakers in mind today who have spoken, Swami Vivekananda's writings, his talks, everything, I would like to just put up only on 5 points. Swamiji emphasized to build a strong nation. He wanted us to prepare the youth for the life struggle. To generate empathy for others, to build society and this nation, to become better human beings and achieve happiness. So overall put together, this is what Swami Vivekananda's concept was about. And what to speak, most of the things that's been coming in for the young toddlers. Even I am a young toddler, because many times I also make mistakes and learn, and many days I also unlearn and learn many things. There are a few questions that actually rises up. There are retractors here, there are a few intractors here, there are young adults here, there are senior most people. Question that comes into our mind is how many of us would like to become the change makers? Did we ask ourselves, why does it matter to become the change makers? Dear all, the world is changing very fast and global mind shift is happening. Innovation in technology is connecting more than ever before. We are sharing more and working differently at different phases. The status quo is no longer enough. What matters most is how we evolve and create that change. Technology will drive how. Dear friends, technology will drive how, but it is only the change makers will drive the road why. Youth is that wonderful time in life when energy is limitless. Human creativity will be at its best. Today we read about the achievements of hundreds of young people in practically at all spheres of life. India of today is at its youngest best, friends. Nearly 70% of the population of India is now in the younger generation. Imagine the potential energy in these millions of young Indians. Now the points to ponder is, are we doing anything to internalize and understand that could make us to lead this nation? The earlier speaker was informing us, if Swamiji was there, he could have asked us, are you not a youth? Can't you make a change? This comes into our mind, friends. This is the time when we are easily motivated by the environment and by what we see and the values around us. Dear all, India is a land of tremendous contradictions. On one side, we see enormous prosperity, wealth. On the other side, there we see, there are people who goes without a second meal every day. This side, we see Indian scientific achievements in the field of telecom or IT or the space as enviable. Other side, heart bleeds when you know that many of the rural Indians have no sanitations. And there are at least about 22% to 30% are unable to get potable water to drink. Even today, my dear youngsters, nearly 30% of our children in the villages find it difficult to get access to the schooling, while many children are laboring away in the fields or the factories to make their family yen to mate it. This is where you as the youngsters, we as the youngsters comes into picture to make this change for a better today, change for a better tomorrow is what is required now. What kind of changes that is required? Can we just ignite on few things or few common senses that we really boost up ourselves? I would like to give you only one example. Today everyone are wearing mask. Today everyone are wearing mask. What do we do? What we do after wearing the mask? We just take it, throw away. Where that mask go? We do not know. That will be taken to some dry waste or to separate places, or if it gets into the gutter, into the water, and there is a thread tied with that mask. And can you imagine, there are still, some of the water animals there, and even in the air that gets stuck into that mask, many of it die. Can we bring in that small change to avoid few things in that, to really put that waste properly? I'll give you another set of example, the real-time example which is happening presently, friends. This is where you as an youngsters can really make some changes. There are, immediate vaccination, RT-PCR test that you can do it in your home. You do it, you pack it and throw it in the dustbin. So what happens next? It goes to the dry waste. We think it goes to the dry waste. Can't we put it to the reject waste possibly? This is where this, the change comes to your mind. This is where I needs to change and we need to change ourselves. We need to inform our own neighbors, and that neighbor will surely, inform others. This is the change that is required. Friends, when this change is coming up, let me tell you, there are three hurdles, that the three phases that really comes in. One is the opposition. First itself, there'll be obstacles. Oppositions comes in. That is ridiculous. Next will be the ridicule, and the final stage would be the acceptance. This is where the changes takes place. And we have, most of our houses will be having our own maid servants and all. How are we treating them? Can we bring some changes? Can we educate them? That itself will make a big change. There are many tribal schools. There are many schools that doesn't have proper facilities. Is there any possibility that we can drive it as an youngsters? This is where that ignition is required. Swamiji addresses this issue by putting it very simplifying the whole problem. He only speaks about, Swamiji speaks about the national reconstruction with ideals of Tyaga and Seva. Ideals of Tyaga and Seva. It's the most important purpose of our living for the young. Earlier there was a talk that was going on, which was speaking about the iron and the nerve needs to be I forgot, I'm really sorry. Muscles of iron as well as the nerves of steel. I remember. So this makes a point for youngsters to really bring in change, because anything that you really need to make a change, this is very much required. This is very much required. And today's youngsters wants results very fast, and they are real result oriented. So to bring up these results, to bring up these changes, youngsters needs to really keep one step ahead to really get to know what exactly is within us and what is that we really need to give to the nation or to the immediate neighbor. With all these things, I would like to thank the foundation giving me an opportunity to be here, and Swamiji, my humble pranams to you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. And with due respect to all your words, definitely yes. We all know that experience is definitely important, but how thoughtful it is when, connecting both Vivek sir's or Umesh sir's words, that experiment with the practicality. That is what the basic, at least in this contemporary world, we have to start following with experimentation with the practicality. With moving on, like youngsters, we have to definitely give heed on this. And thank you so much, sir, for the thoughtful words. And now moving on to the last segment. So this nation and the National Day that has been celebrated with utmost pride, serenity, and due respect. On that note, I'd say, as it's a virtual event, we are not playing the national anthem. Instead, we, the members, will recite the national prayer. With utmost dignity and respect, please hear us out. In his remembrance, Dr. Awul Pakir Jainulabuddin Abdul Kalam was a man of many talents. He was a scientist, a teacher, a statesman, a scholar, also a writer. He has written many books on his vision about India, and his autobiography, Wings of Fire, has been a guiding light to the youth of nation. In the light to make Dr. Kalam's vision become a reality, and here is our prayer. Please hear us out. Nisha?
Thank you, Gagana. The grand scene of birth of independent India. In that midnight, the flag of the ruler of 2 centuries lowered. The tricolor, the Indian flag, flaps in the red fort in the midst of the national anthem. The first vision of independent India was dawned.
They rejoice everywhere, happiness all around. There was a tender cry, where is the father of the nation? The white-clothed soul walking in the midst of sorrow and pain, injected by hatred and ego, the result of communal violence.
The father of the nation, Mahatma, walking barefooted in the streets of Bengal for peace and harmony. With the strength of blessed soul of Mahatma, I pray the Almighty, when will be the dawn of second Visu?
Create thoughts in the minds of my people and transform those thoughts into action. Embed the thought of nation being bigger than the individual in the minds of leaders and people.
Help all the leaders of my country to give strength and bless the nation with peace and prosperity. Give strength to all my released leaders to bring unity of minds among all our billion people.
O Almighty, bless all my people to work and transform our country from a developing into a developed nation. Let this second vision be born out of sweat of my people and bless our youth to live in developed India.
How divine it is. And thank you so much. And now we request Protractor Taiba Sultana, Secretary, Rotary Club of Koramangala, to render the oath of thanks.
Warm greetings, one and all. I'm Protractor Taiba, and it gives me immense pleasure to render the word of thanks on behalf of Rotary Club of Koramangala. Firstly, wishing everyone a very happy Republic Day. It's not the end until it ends on a note of gratitude. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Honorable Sri Suresh Prabhuji, the MP of Rajya Sabha, for his presence today. Thank you, sir. It was an honor to have you here. A sincere thanks to our wonderful guests, Swami Bodhya Mayanandaji, Director of VIHE, Professor Sumita Roy, Advocate L. Ravichandra, sir, Dr. Vivek Modi, sir, Professor N. Ravichandran, Rotarian Umesh Puttana, the DICC of RI District 3190, N. Bhaskar, sir, for taking out their time from the busy schedule and gracing this special occasion and enlightening us through their rich experiences and knowledge. It is indeed an euphoric event to have such dynamic professionals amidst us today. As rightly quoted by Helen Keller, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. This wouldn't have been possible without the support of our collaborating clubs. A hearty thanks to Rotary Club of JPR Engineering College, RI District 3232 from Chennai, Rotary Club of Bangalore Midtown, RI District 3190, Rotary Club of APS Engineering College, RI District 3190, Rotary Club of Jyotinivas College, RI District 3190, Rotary Club of Surana College, RI District 3190, Krupanidhi Group of Institutions, Rotary Club, RI District 3190, Rotary Club of Palmville, RI District 3190, and Rotary Club of KLE Pharma Bangalore, RI District 3190. Thank you for the active participation and kudos. A special thanks to Ms. Sumita Roy, Ms. Lakshmi, and Ms. Romita Handa for being our wonderful judges for today. My deepest gratitude to Youth for Good Governance for providing us with this opportunity, and a sincere thanks to Mr. Saurav Mukherjee, from Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, Ramakrishna Matha, Hyderabad, Rotarian Protractor Ravi, sir, from RECK, Rotary Bangalore Koramangala, the Secretary of Rotary Bangalore Koramangala, Prakash, sir, from Krupanidhi Group of Institutions, Rotarian Ikram Ahmed, sir, our Rotary Club of Bangalore Koramangala President, Rotractor Syed, our very own President of Rotary Club of Koramangala, Ankit Kumar Singh, Shivam Gupta, sir, Nisha Harish, Ms. Garima Rao from the team of Youth for Good Governance, and a huge shout out and gratitude to our interns from YFGG, that is the Kirti, for the amazing content that went out everywhere and that definitely got us so much attention and appreciation. Syed and Anjani for wonderful posters, Neha Kalagi, Arpandan Deep Kaur, and Jignesh Panchal for the web design. Kudos. Technical team and the HR team and Shivani and Ranjit. Thank you for making this possible and doing an amazing job. My earnest gratitude to Pan India, Jyotinivas College, Interact Club of Notre Dame Academy, Vishweshwaraya Technological University, Interact Club of Sophia High School, Girl Up Bangalore Foundation, Badruka College of Commerce, Osmania University, Kashmir University, Gujarat University, Maulana Azad Medical College, and Anna University. While we are mentioning about gratitude and appreciation, how can we forget our amazing MC for the day? Kudos Rotractor Gagana for fabulously pulling this off from coordination to execution seamlessly. Last but not the least, I thank all the young minds and spectacular people present here for their active participation throughout. Looking forward to having more such events and active participation from your end. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Taiba. Now we have officially come to an end of this event, but With this excitement and learning, it was a pleasure to host you all this beautiful evening. Thank you so much. We hope these ideals of Swamiji stay with us in this journey of creating Navabharat. And I hope you all love the event YUVA BESUGE in adoration to My India, Eternal India. The forum is now open to all attendees to share their feedback, impact, and observations of the event. Guys, we would really love to hear out from you all. What exactly did you take from this event, and what was the learning? And definitely, any feedbacks, positive or negative, we'll definitely take it, and we will work on it and come back stronger. Anyone wants to speak? Please raise your hand. We will try to unmute you, and you can speak, or please use the chat box as well. Meanwhile, any of our organizers or guests would want to share their thoughts, also welcome.
Okay. So, Gagana, so congratulations to you, I think, for pulling this off, and from taking the initiative, from all the coordination. So big congratulations to you, Ankit, Shivam. Very well done, and the entire team and the Rotaract team. I would also like to request Ankit to share the link of the Youth Impact Crucible, so that if anybody in this audience want to participate, they can also get access to the information. So I think it was a wonderful event, and Gagana being the common set between both YGG and Rotaract was very instrumental to have a smooth coordination between the both and getting this done. And obviously, I think without the blessing support of Swamiji and the entire Ramakrishna Mission, the support team, this wouldn't have been possible. So our warm greetings to Swamiji, and we would really like to thank you from the bottom of our heart for all your support and encouragement. Yeah, that is all from my end.
Thank you so much, Sauru. I definitely need to thank Dr. Vivek Modi, sir. Like, in spite of his busy schedule from 5:30 till now, he is with us. Thank you so much, sir. It's actually so much inspiration to take back from you. And definitely, we can't miss out thanking Swamiji for all the support, like from just sharing a thought, and he says yes to everything, and he keeps things happening. And in minutes or in seconds or in hours, things are happened, and we are done with the event. With like so much success was only just because of Swamiji being our backbone and all support. And thank you to the entire Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, and congratulations again to all the winners. Don't worry, all your participation certificates and winner certificates will be sent to you all. And please be waiting, and there's so much package coming to you all on your way. And please be pumped up and stay tuned. And congratulations again. Happy Republic Day to all, and see you all again. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah. See you.
We can stop the live streaming now.
Yeah.